They can't stop me. They can't stop me. Cause I'm getting better. Yes, I'm getting better. Cause I ain't going nowhere. They can't stop me. They can't stop me. Cause I'm getting better.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Travis Malloy, singer, songwriter, producer, serial entrepreneur, a man of faith, a visionary, future mogul, you know, all the good stuff. So I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, born and raised, black and yellow. You know how it goes. Yins, y'all, you know what we do. But I've been in the ATL for 7 years. It was inspiring because I was raised by a single mom of 3. And, you know, we all had different personalities. You know, my sister was who she is. She's a flight attendant. My brother is, you know, was the football guy, and now he's the personal trainer, and I was always the arts and entertainment guy. And my mom was able to be a mom to 3 different personalities. And, you know, Pittsburgh is a small town, but it's a sports city, you know. So sometimes I felt out of place because it's, you know, Pirates, Penguins, Panthers, Steelers, you know, and I was the music guy. And only a few major music people come out of my city. It's more legendary for jazz, but, you know, you had your Wiz Khalifas and you had the Mac Millers, God rest his soul, and, you know, the legendary, iconic Billy Porter. And so Pittsburgh also had a lot of inspiration to it as well. But I knew that I had hit my peak in that city, and it was time for me to come down south and turn it up. I moved to Atlanta October 5th, 2018, with $1,000 to my name, taking another leap of faith. I moved multiple times. That was my 4th move. And I remember hearing Steve Harvey say, sometimes you have to jump before you see the net. And sometimes it could be embarrassing when you keep jumping and that net don't show up. And a lot of times I had to keep moving back home. So I would be a little embarrassed, you know, going back and forth, and people would see me in LA and then moving back with my mom, in New York, moving back with my mom, even in Atlanta before, and moving back with my mom. But I felt something different about this jump. And this is a moment to encourage people that just because it's not working out doesn't mean it's not working out. It's all a part of your journey. And so this jump was special for me, even with that $1,000 that I had, because 2 months later after moving here, I got a huge opportunity to be a music director and was able to stabilize myself, my lifestyle. And then 2 years later, I start one of the most infectious, greatest brands to ever be created in this world. I don't know if I would have started it if I hadn't jumped again. I needed to jump again. So that last jump changed my life, and I never looked back. And I'm grateful for the lessons that I learned in all of those jumps. I'm grateful for the lessons I learned in Los Angeles. I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned in New York. And because it gave me the courage to jump. You know how many people call me and say, man, I don't know how you moved across country. I drove. Me and a brother of mine, we drove all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Los Angeles, California. Took us 3 days. That was the level of jump I was willing to take when it comes to my dreams and the things that I see for myself. We only get to do this thing one time. We do not get to come back down here and do none of this again. So why would you wait? When you wait and you procrastinate, it is the arrogant assumption that God owes you another day. In 2008, which was 15 years ago, just about, I remember getting a ride to a neighborhood, and me and a friend would sit outside and we would look around and say, one day we're going to live in these buildings, and one day we're going to drive this car. And I just remember sitting outside saying, I want to live like this. This is 2008. And so the motivational moment for you as a soon-to-be second jumper is I'm now filming my first podcast in the building that I said I wanted to live in 15 years ago. This is the exact building. If I had not jumped again, I would not be able to talk to you from the place I said that I was going to live in. You got to jump again. I know you jumped the first time and you bruised your knees. You got to jump again. I know you jumped a second time and you bruised the side of your face. You got to get up and you got to jump again, because those are not bruises. Those are books. Those are not bruises. Those are songs. Those are not bruises. Those are testimonies to save the next jumper who's going to need you to say the things that I'm saying to you right now. It's so funny how the way people may address you changes based on the evolution of your life. When people used to see me, it's like, oh my God, you could sing your butt off. Years later, oh my God, you could write, you could produce, you're phenomenal. Then years later, it's like, oh my God, I love the t-shirt line. I love millions, billions, trillions. And now when people see me, they say, Travis, your life inspires me. You are so inspirational. When I watch your story, it makes me want to do all the things that God has put in me to do. So that's what I'm excited about in this next journey of the Travis Malloy journey. Well, you know, Travis is a homebody. Travis is a mama's boy. Travis is a family man. Travis is a storyteller. I love to make people laugh. I love to inspire people, whether it be through music or just through talking to them and giving them words of encouragement. I love helping people find purpose. I love asking people the question, what's your biggest dream? I can't imagine existing and not pursuing my dream. And most of the world doesn't get to pursue their dreams. Most of the world has to do what they have to do to survive. And so I try to give people tools on how to live a fun, healthy, motivative life, even when they're not able to completely pursue every dream they've ever dreamed.
How did growing up shape the Travis that we see today?
You know what? That's a great question. I'll say my journey has shaped me. The journey has shaped me. I released an album a few years ago entitled Faith Journey, and it's almost like I've been on this road with my eyes closed. A lot of times we say yes to your will, God, yes to your way, but we typically don't want the way. We want the will, but we don't want the way. And I have learned over the last 10 years to truly, truly, truly embrace the way. I changed the perspective on how I look at things that I've experienced. Car repossessions, those were songs that turned into awards. Eviction notices, you know, that's the book I'm writing. Those are my movies. Those are more songs. Those are plays. The pain, the tears that I faced, those are motivational TED Talks that I'm able to now stand in front of people and encourage people from the tears that I faced. If I had knew that everything I experienced was going to work for my good, it would have saved me a lot of pain.
Faith Journey, there's a song called Dreams. Walk us through that song.
What you know about dreams? Dreams was a lullaby I wrote for children. And it just was speaking of imagining things and being able to not just imagine it, but operate as if you already have it. I remember I have this like thing where when I go to Hollywood, I make my friends drive me through Beverly Hills and Brentwood and Bel Air. That's a thing that I do. And I remember going about 10 years ago, and I had them drive me to Beyonce's house. And now you can't see the house. It's, it's the gate and all that. And I got out and I touched the gate. And I really feel like I heard the voice of God tell me if I could bring you to it, I could give it to you. And I just feel like if it wasn't obtainable, we wouldn't be able to get so close. And a lot of times we operate in fear. So sometimes the fear of our dreams scare us out of pursuit because of how big they are. That's why the late, great Reverend Ike always talks about how the subconscious mind is better than when you're awake, because when you're asleep, you're not able to talk yourself out of the stuff you want. So that same trip in LA, God said, go pick your star out on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I was scared. I said, I don't have a song. This is pre-millions, billions, trillions. I'm not famous. My music isn't big enough to have a star. He said, I said, go pick the star out. Go get the star. And I remember going and I danced on the star. And I seen my name on the star. And we have 10 years later, God gives me a global brand, millions, billions, trillions, that surpasses any song that I could have ever written, with 3 words that were here long before I was ever alive. So that's the way. That's the way. Millions, billions, trillions came to me. I hate to be cliché-ish, but you know how everybody says it came to me at 3 o'clock in the morning? That's so church. A friend of mine called me and said, I don't know what it is, but you're getting ready to make a whole lot of money. And days later, I had a vision. And I remember waking up, grabbing my phone and typing millions, billions, trillions, gazillions. Then I woke up and I said, that gazillions is way too much. We got to take the gazillions out. Nobody's going to buy that. So I took the gazillions out. I called a friend over and I said, I need you to show me how to start a brand and da-da-da-da. And so he taught me, my brother today, my product manager, Will Parker of Multiple Hustles. And that was it. I was actually the music director at a church. And I was, making some stable money. I won't say good money, but I was making stable money. And, we know the difference. And sometimes stable money keeps you comfortable. Pandemic hit. They let me go. I didn't know what I was going to do. And God said, I gave you millions, billions, trillions 3 months ago, and you've been sitting on it. It's time to get it. Called a friend over. I said, hey, we got to get this Shopify popping. Sometimes God will create situations to force you into purpose. I was too comfortable. So pulled the carpet up and said, I gave you a brand that's getting ready to change your life. And you're going to end up making what you were making in a year every month. And that is exactly what happened within weeks of me releasing this, as my bishop, the great Bishop William H. Murphy says, this is not a T-shirt line. It's a prophetic movement. And when it is a prophetic movement, God's hand is on it, and it goes before us, before we even get there. I just preached really good. I'm ready to dance right now. Anybody got a B3? Oh my God.
So fast forwarding, it's 5 years later.
Yeah.
Where is million, billion, trillions now? Where is Travis now? What has the evolution of 5 years been like for you?
I truly believe that on this 5th year, we're getting ready to transcend into something greater than I think I even seen for myself. I believe that millions, billions, trillions is going to be one of the biggest global brands and movements this earth has ever seen. And I feel like these last 5 years has laid the groundwork and the foundation for what's getting ready. It is the new world order. Millions, billions, trillions is the new bank. And it is the only bank that exists. And I believe the only bank that exists is the bank in your mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. Millions, billions, trillions doesn't just speak to currency, but it speaks to consciousness. A quote that I came up with is, you can't change your currency unless you change your mind. How do you think about yourself? Because that is exactly where you will be. And my job on this 5th year is to take it to the next level and to change the world, impact the world. I want can you imagine the whole world saying millions, billions, trillions? Millions, billions, trillions. And when they say it, they're prophesying over their lives. When I'm walking through the airport and people see my shirt, my hoodie, and they're reading it, I watch them read it sometimes. They may not even say anything to me, but sometimes they'll just walk past and say, millions, billions, trillions. And they don't even realize they're prophesying over themselves. So that's what this is. It's a prophetic movement that is going before us. It's going to the bank before you even get there. It's going to the house before you get there. It's going to the car lot before you get there. Millions, billions, trillions. So I am the general of moguls in my generation. I'm the general of visionaries and dreamers of my generation. This part is extremely vulnerable for me. I've been overcoming, I'm being very careful with my words. I've been overcoming anxiety for the last, I would say, 10 years. Because it seems like every step I climb on the ladder of success, that the anxiety has gotten worse. That's how I felt. And that's how I have felt. And it seems like every time a major door opens for me, I deal with a level of anxiety that impacts my body. It impacts my health, and it impacts my mind. And, you know, I think what makes my story so powerful is that God gave me millions, billions, trillions as a motivational staple to inspire people and empower people. But I believe that it was also a brand to push me. Because a lot of times, you know, we write songs and we sing songs and we preach sermons and all kinds of things to inspire the world when we need them ourselves. And so when I tell you all, this brand is like a living testimony every day for me of waking up, having to inspire myself before I can get in front of a camera and inspire anybody else. And I think, you know, a lot of times it gets even more challenging when you have to show up as Mr. MBT. And a lot of times I don't feel like Mr. MBT. And the title of this show is the MBT Blueprint. And I believe the only blueprint to success is not giving up. The only blueprint to success is to fight every day. And that is something that I fight every day, is the anxiety of worry. Because anxiety and worry is sending a lie to the future. And I would say that's something that I have struggled with and that I'm still deciding to overcome. While I'm in the seat of inspiration, I want people to understand that you could be building the greatest empire of your life while still fighting the thorn in your side. And I just believe that if you keep going and if you don't give up, that thorn will never kill you. That was rough. You know, I've never talked about my anxiety on camera. And I think I've been ashamed to talk about it, y'all, because people expect me to just be, that's Mr. Motivator. You couldn't possibly be dealing with worry. And sometimes you don't want them to be wrong. You don't want people to be wrong. You don't want to let people down. But I've decided to walk in 100% authenticity when it comes to Travis Malloy. Life's too short not to. And I believe I'll help more people being vulnerable about what I face every day than trying to act like I don't deal with anything.
You said something very key when you said I'm overcoming, because there's a two-part to overcoming. It's the blood of the lamb and then the word of your testimony.
Oh, you want me to dance in this place.
Perhaps this is the license to overcome and actually be free from the thing that was trying to stop you from filming today.
I feel that. And like I said, people are dealing with real life stuff. People don't want to be lied to. Let me tell you something. If I jump to the music industry, the reason why the people you think aren't as talented sell millions of records, because people don't buy into the music. They buy into being able to relate to you. If you think back on the success of Keisha Cole had dropped an album that people loved, but her life changed when Keisha Cole, The Way It Is reality show came out. And when people were able to see, wow, she got a Frankie, she got a Neffy. I got those in my family. Oh, she's going through this. I've been through that too. So people buy into, that's why Cardi B is such a superstar. She's not just a superstar because she's gifted. She's a superstar because she's real. And real, I know we use that word very frivolously these days, but when I say real, I mean like stardom didn't change her everyday obstacles. You can't turn, a girl from the Bronx, a hood chick from the Bronx into Cinderella because she got money. She's going to be who she is, and that's why people love her. You got to be who you are. So I've decided to be who I am, and that's what people love about me is that, I push the envelope. I love the Lord, but I'm still a nigga from Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? And I got to be myself because that's what people love. And, if I can't be myself, who am I be? Al Sharpton? Shout out to the OG. Right. No, that's my uncle. He wear millions, billions, trillions. I'm just saying I can't be nobody but me. Who I'm gonna be? Stone Cold Steve Austin? Just keep naming WWE. It's lit. Jamal is lit. I mean, it's lit. I can't even put into words what's getting ready to happen with this show. It's going to inspire so many people. It's going to reach so many people. It's going to empower people. It is going to lift people out of depression. It's going to lift people out of anxiety, including myself. This is a platform for even myself to get free. It's going to help you get some money. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to pray. It's going to be exciting. Let me tell y'all something. The guests that I got, let me tell you something. Your boy's Rolodex is crazy. You don't know who going to sit next to me. You don't know who's going to sit next to me. You don't know who I'm going to have on the show because your boy's Rolodex is dummy. Let me tell y'all something. I'm talking about we're going to have singers, songwriters, producers, realtors, business owners, serial entrepreneurs. I mean, some of the most impactful people in the world. Some you know, some you may not know, but they will be sitting next to me and being a part of the MBT Blueprint. MBT stands for millions, billions, trillions. And this is the blueprint on how to get there.
They can't stop